Hi, everyone, and welcome to episode 71 of Gamestack. The title, Xbox Series XS, Series Xbox S, or was it X? I even think I got the title reading it wrong. So anyway, I'm Rick McVick, and with us tonight is Vendertron. Welcome.
Hello.
And Shalene, welcome to you too.
Hi, friends.
How are you doing this week, Vendor?
Doing well, thanks. Yourself?
Good. I'm doing very good. And Shalene, how are you?
I'm here.
Good. Very good. We all are here, and we're excited to talk about some stuff that we have coming up. But before we get into any of that, I did want to take a quick second and for those of us in the U.S. especially, but those of us around the world, because we've all been affected by this, today is the 19th anniversary of 9/11. And if you were born or alive at that time and were cognitive, the three of us were. I know where I was. Shalene, I'm sure you remember where you were. Vendor, I'm sure you remember where you were when all that happened. And it sucks. And it was a terrible event. And I just wanted to kind of not use it, that was the wrong term. I just kind of wanted to say in this moment and on this day, unity is one of the most important things that the world needs, especially the United States right now. Regardless of whatever you think, believe, or feel, like we're all humans together, and yeah, we just need to be unified now more than ever and play some damn video games and have some fun while we're at it. No haxies. So anyway, I just wanted to say to take a second and just kind of remember what happened 19 years ago. I can't believe that it's been 19 years. I'm sure some of our listeners are younger than the event itself, so... Anyway.
There's absolutely a very high chance that many of our listeners are younger than that. That's wow. Yeah. I can't believe it's been that long. It feels so fresh still.
I was 12 years old when that happened.
Mm-hmm.
What? Really?
Mm-hmm.
I forget that you guys are babies. I forget that. Yeah.
We're like 3 years younger than you. Come on.
Yeah, I was driving a car when this happened.
Oh, that's...
Okay, you're old.
I was driving to school when it came on the news.
Yeah. I just remember playing with Legos in my living room, looking at the TV, going, that's strange. So, anyway, I just wanted to make mention of that, and I did not want to dwell on it too much, but I did feel like it was important to mention.
Absolutely.
Anyway... On with the show this evening. First, before we tell you what's in store, some ways that you can help us out and promote the show are hosting us on Twitch. Tell your friends about us on the Facebooks and the Twitters and the Reddits and wherever else you're on. And just like our stuff on social media. We appreciate all the interaction, and we would love to interact with you. You can also join our Discord. All you have to do... Vendor, who's new to the Discord this week?
We have 3 new people. Sorry, I was trying to find it in the notes. It's a very small list this week. That's why I couldn't see it. We only have 3 people in our Discord that have joined us and graced us. Actually, that may not necessarily be true. First of all, we've got a nice big warm welcome to Archmore Smith. So welcome.
I love that. Armor Smith. That's wonderful.
And Wix as well. But I think back from the corner of shame.
I think so too.
RTZ13.
Mm-hmm.
Our friend from the UK.
Yeah, he posted the Reddit post with the pregnancy test that was running Doom.
That was ban-worthy on our server?
No, the subreddit that it came from had the F word in the title. So the bot kicked him.
How dirty.
Yeah.
Well, that's
so
funny.
Welcome back, RTZ13. Shame on you. If you would like to join our Discord, all you got to do, if you're listening live right now, is scroll right down below Shalene this evening, and the link is right there. You can also access the Discord by sending us a personal message on social media. We'll send you the link. Or just take it. And now for the news.
Wrong button. Sorry.
Yes.
That was not the news. It was fake.
That's all I have. That's
Fake news?
Good. Stop it. Vendor, if you could just turn your mic up a little bit.
Yeah.
You're a little quiet. So, all right. Thank you.
How's this? Is this better?
Sorry.
I was
You
about
guys
to watch.
are a disaster.
I was about to watch a documentary today, and that's how it started. They're like, in this documentary, and I'm like, I can't even. I'm not even like, if you're clipping
Next.
on the narrator, done. And it was about the I can't say the right word. Voynich manuscript. Voynich manuscript. Yeah, it's this manuscript that like nobody's been able to figure out what it means, or it's like a bunch of weird stuff. What I think it is just like some kid was like, I'm going to make a fantasy novel, and then like we found it, we're like, what does it mean? It's just some kid's imagination. Anyway, so tonight we have, if you haven't heard already, the news, and we have some gameplay and the stocks, and we're also going to talk a little bit about Ubisoft Forward. Because there was some stuff in there that some of you might be interested in. So yeah, before it's old news, let's talk about the new news. I forgot to call it what it was. This just in. Sorry, guys.
It's okay.
I try. So the specs have been finally revealed for the Xbox Series S if you have been waiting for it. There's been a lot in the news about the X and the S, the upcoming new consoles from the Xbox lineup, and they're quite impressive. We're going to talk about it right now. So the Xbox Series S, ready for this. The CPU is an 8-core AMD Zen 2 CPU at 3.6 gigahertz, 3.4 gigahertz when SMT is enabled. The GPU is an AMD RDNA 2 GPU, 20 CUs at 1.565 gigahertz. The GPU power comes in at a whopping 4 teraflops. Anyway, all that means is it runs some video games pretty darn well. It's got 10 gigabytes of RAM. The performance target is 1440p at 60 FPS, up to 120 FPS on the S. Might we also mention that it only costs $299?
Now, that is pretty darn good for $299. And it's such a small machine as well.
Oh, so it's like the light version.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the light version. Compare and contrast, by the way, with the Xbox Series S, where the 8-core AMD Zen 2 only does 0.2 gigahertz more as far as the top performance there. However, the GPU power is far greater at 12.15 teraflops versus the 4 teraflops. With that performance, you're going to get 4K at 60 FPS up to 120. But that price tag on the Xbox Series S is $499. So it's doubled in price, but it also does like 3 times better in performance with 16 gigs of RAM as well. And a 1 terabyte PCIe card. Oh, that's nice. They both have PCIe SSDs. Not bad. So, all that to say, that's been, I guess, leaked?
Well, they leaked the S and the price of the S. It was rumored that there would be a less expensive SKU of the new Xbox, but it hadn't been officially announced. And the entire trailer was leaked. It was really funny. It happened in the middle of the night, and the Xbox Twitter account responded with the meme of the little puppet monkey that looks like this way and that way.
Oh.
It was so good. And then they went ahead and officially announced it since it had been leaked.
So as the resident Microsoft Xbox fangirl, you own one, you play on it more than me or Vendor do. What's your take on the Series X and the S specs and prices?
I think they're fantastic. I think it's going to be a great machine. There's a lot to be said for consoles. You know, I have started to lean more towards PC, but you can't beat the stability of these recent consoles. It's fantastic. And I think you're getting a lot of power for $299. It's a very small machine. It's very cute. I think it would be a great machine for travel. I would probably buy one if I was still traveling for work all the time, but you know, COVID.
Right.
So I don't go anywhere ever. And the X is enormous, but it is substantially more powerful than the Series S. So basically it's just the choice. Do you want to future proof? Do you want to have that 4K experience? Do you want to have the one that's going to have the most legs? Or do you not care about 4K? Is that not something that's that you're worried about? In that case, the S is probably enough. That's and then there's also the consideration of discs. I don't believe the S has a disk drive.
Yeah.
And the X does. So if you are someone who lives in a place where your internet infrastructure is not really up to the task of downloading today's enormous video games,
looking at you,
then you would probably want to stick with the X. Yeah. So the naming is terrible. Asher Dusk is the first to bring it up in chat. The naming convention is very dumb.
Well, as you mentioned before, the show, Shalene, Xbox already has an Xbox One X and an Xbox One S. And now, we were already making jokes about how many, well-meaning grandmas are going to go out and, can I get the Xbox One S, thinking that they're getting the X. And now it's going to happen the same way, where can I get the Xbox One S when it should have been the Xbox Series S. It's just a really dumb naming convention.
Mm-hmm.
However, Microsoft has never been known for their spectacular naming conventions. I just heard that back in the day, and then back in the 90s, when they came out with Microsoft NT, which was Microsoft New Technology, Tex called it Microsoft Nice Try. So, their names have never been quite as nice as Mac or anything like that, or even Linux stuff. But they could have got... What was Scorpio? Was that the...
Scorpio was the code name for the Xbox One X.
That was just better. They should have went with that.
Yeah. I've always felt like the code names are usually better. I believe the what was it? Oh, I've forgotten it. The code name for the Series S was Lockhart. That's what it was. That's better. That's better than Xbox Series S.
Yeah.
I just don't get it. If they called it the Xbox Scorpio, people would just call it the Scorpio, and it would be easy.
Mm-hmm.
And no one would be angry, and it would always be remembered.
Yeah.
It's confusing. It is a little confusing. I probably won't purchase either of these machines. I may eventually get one, but I don't plan to purchase one at launch for myself, because all of the Xbox exclusive games are going to be on Game Pass for PC. So why would I?
Yeah.
I will probably go ahead and buy an X for the nephew, though.
You're the coolest aunt.
I try to be. Yeah, I try to be. So I'm the only aunt he's got, so it's kind of default that I am the coolest one.
Now
I try to earn the title.
Now, Vendor, you have the largest screen, at least I'm assuming, out of the two of us. Are you running 4K now?
Yep.
Would you ever go, do you think it's something that, most people should get into if they can? Because I've been in this mode where I'm not, I need to get a new graphics card, but my monitor is just a standard, 1980 by whatever, monitor at 5% refresh rate or 5 ms refresh. So it's not like a fancy monitor. Is 4K all it's cracked up to be, or
no? It's not, honestly. I didn't even notice the difference between my old monitor. Well, okay. There was a marked difference between my old monitors and this giant ass monitor.
Mm-hmm.
Giant monitor. Sorry. Now we're R-rated. But in terms of clarity, playing Fallout 76 on my old ThinkVision that was almost 20 years old, and this brand new Samsung 49 whatever, it's really not that much of a difference in terms of 4K when you play games that don't really have that great of graphics to begin with. So I haven't pushed it to its limits, so I don't really know. Microsoft Flight Sim, I think, was probably the first instance where I really pushed it to its limits, and it's definitely shown its capabilities. But I'm now, before I used to be limited by monitor, now I'm limited by graphics card.
Well, you future-proofed your monitoring, that's for sure.
Yeah, so I think, I don't know.
What graphics card do you have?
Right now I've got a 1070. So it is it's 4K capable. And I never utilized 4K because I never had 4K monitors. So now I play in 4K, but it really is not all it's cracked up to be. And when I try to play in 4K, a lot of the games that I have and I play in 4K, they don't really run that smooth in 4K because my computer is just isn't powerful enough. My GPU is just isn't powerful enough for the monitor.
I feel like there's a huge difference with 4K.
Are you on 4K, Shalene?
I am, yeah. This monitor is 4K. I had a 4K monitor before I was 4K capable.
So outdated.
But the difference between, like, say, Sea of Thieves before I had a 4K monitor and after is just tremendous. And I remember when I upgraded my graphics card, my PC, I went from like a 980 to the 2070. And
the big jump.
Yeah.
I remember playing Destiny 2 with you and realizing, wait, there's grass. Look at all this.
Yeah.
Look at all these individual blades of grass. It's beautiful. And I feel like the difference between when I play something, because I play my Xbox One X on this same monitor that I play my my PC on, and the difference even there is tremendous.
So now let me clarify the difference between what Shalene and I are saying. I'm saying that there really is no difference in terms of switching monitors, but she's saying that there was a big difference, and that primarily, correct me if I'm wrong, Shalene, was switching graphics cards altogether.
Yes.
And a 4K monitor. So it depends how you look at it, I think. But for sure, yeah, I think 4K overall is better quality. 5K now is the new thing. 8K, actually. You can now play Microsoft Flight Simulator in 8K resolution, which I didn't even know existed.
I'm still rocking
us plebs. Well,
what talk about plebs? I'm not even rocking a 4K monitor. I'm still rocking a GTX 970. That's like getting slowly behind in its paces.
But this is my philosophy: skip a generation always. Right?
I'll be skipping.
Be like the bad generation. Be like the bad gene and skip a generation. And go for the 3000 series.
Well, I'm skipping 2 generation. I'm getting the new 380s that are coming out from NVIDIA. At least I want to get the new 380 flagship. And
those look fantastic.
All I want.
Well, and NVIDIA's done a good one on us and priced it at the same price as the 2080, which is a little bit shocking.
And the performance
but I think that's only
crazier.
I think that's also because it's the TI that's going to be coming out in like a year, which is usually always better.
I figure if a 970 lasts me this long, a 380 is going to last me a while. But anyway, I just was curious about that because I had been thinking about my PC and what I've been doing, and I have an not old school monitor, but it's not the best. So anyway,
the last thing I'd say is that the problem with updating your graphics card is that sometimes you have to upgrade everything else.
Yes.
In this case, I don't. I'm lucky in that regard. So
like if you've got a really good motherboard that can run your graphics card and a processor chip that's capable, then you're laughing. But
I was talking with a PC tech guru, and he was looking at my specs, and he's like, well, if you upgrade your motherboard and CPU, you're only going to get like a 30% bump, and he's like, so it's not really worth the money to invest in a new CPU and motherboard and RAM. He's like, just throw GPU in there and see how that goes and where your bottleneck is. So I think I'm going to do that and get a new monitor at some point, because the monitors are going down in price. You could wait for a good sale, you can get a good gaming monitor for a decent price. But anyway.
And monitors are robust. Like the ones that I replaced, they had been running for like almost 20 years.
Yeah, mine have been running for.
And they were great monitors. Like they were awesome. And so I think monitors really go a long way.
They do. I got this one like 4 years ago, and it's fantastic.
Nice.
Yeah,
looks brand new.
Nice. All right, so if none of that is your cup OT, you can get the Xbox Series X for $499 and will be out November 1st. And the Xbox Series S will be $299. I think that's also November 1st, or is that? Don't hold me to that. I don't know when the release date for the Xbox Series S is.
They're both coming out the same day. I thought it was November. Was it November 1st?
I'm looking at the Kotaku article here. Xbox Series X will cost
November 10th.
Oh, 10th. It carried the 0 down. So November 10th is when they will be out. So what do you think this says about PlayStation completely being mum's the word on release date and the price?
I feel like it means that they are done seeing Xbox as a real competitor.
Really?
I feel like, yeah, it's much the same way that Nintendo is not playing the same game that the big two console makers have been all this time. You know, they do their own thing. I feel like Sony has decided not to play the game as well. I feel like they're sticking to their original plan of whatever they were doing instead of being responsive to what happened here.
I was having a conversation in the Discord about this. Captain Bones actually kind of took that route too, because we were talking about having the confidence, like Apple. Apple has so much confidence in their product that with the new iPhones, they're like, we're not even going to give you a power supply. If you want to charge your phone, you can use your old one, which has the slow charging, by the way, or you could buy the new one that we're not going to have in the box because it's greener to not manufacture one for every single phone.
Are you serious?
Yes. And that's
messed up.
It is stupid because they like your moolah, but it's also confidence knowing you're going to go buy that phone anyway because you're a fan of Apple. And he kind of took that side of it where I was thinking maybe they weren't that confident in their product. Because I was thinking of it from the long lines of like they're not really opening up to other players like crossplay unless they're really forced to. They're kind of just staying in their little corner where Xbox is trying to branch out to everything.
They dominated this past generation. They really did. And why would they do crossplay when it doesn't benefit them? You know, it benefits Xbox to have crossplay, but it doesn't necessarily benefit PlayStation when they have a machine in so many homes, and the lack of crossplay is just more motivation to buy a PlayStation.
Yeah, and I think they're just doing what Apple's doing now. Now that you're saying it, it kind of makes sense that they're just pulling back to their fan base rather than trying to get more market share. So, but I'm really curious to see what this thing costs and when it's coming out. I
can't believe we've gotten this far into the fall without hearing a price for this machine. It's crazy. And who knows if we still would know the price of Xbox if that leak hadn't happened. That leak forced their hand. And how long were they going to wait? I mean, let us plan. We need to save up money.
Yeah, that's true. It is true. Sorry, I'm a little distracted because my audio is out of whack, and I'm not sure if it's coming through on the stream. So, I don't know if... Oh, okay. So they are having audio issues as well.
Yeah.
Hey, okay, let me patch something real quick. All right? Shouldn't take a second.
Okay.
Shalene, you want to take the next news story?
I will. So EA Play will be coming to Xbox Game Pass at no extra cost. I'm sorry, Rick, did I interrupt you?
No, I think I have to drop the stream. Just 1 sec.
Really? Okay.
Mm-hmm. It's bad. Hold on 1 second, please. Do the whole music. Do. Okay. Can you hear me?
You sound fantastic, Rick.
Okay.
You were all crackly through the whole everything, and now you sound fantastic.
You hated this headset when I first got it. You're like, that sounds awful, is bad. Go back to your other headset microphone thing. And now
well, I mean, at the time, your other setup sounded better. So it's not my fault, Rick. It's not my fault.
Hold on now. Are we still live?
Yes,
we're still live.
Are we?
I swapped. Yeah. I swapped it in. I swapped it on the fly.
Okay, so we never went down.
Never went down.
We never went down.
We're like the Pridwin, except if you don't end it right.
Gracious, I thought we were down. I was just
ranting.
I feel embarrassed now.
Don't.
So EA Play is coming to Xbox Game Pass at no extra cost.
It's nice we're not having.
Oh, they need you to speak, vendor, so that they can hear if
I'm speaking. This is me speaking.
Oh, he's fine.
Yeah, I think everybody sounds great. EA Play, as you may have heard over the past 2 minutes, is coming to Xbox Game Pass at no extra cost. This is a Kotaku article by Ash Parrish. And when they announced the Xbox Series X pricing and release date, they also announced that this EA game subscription service will be coming to Game Pass at no extra fee, which is very exciting news. EA Play, I forgot what it was called in the middle of speaking there. EA Play is about $30 a year. I had it for a while because my nephew loved to play a lot of these games. And that way, whenever he would come over, he could have his choice of sports games to play. And it was very special for him. He was really excited to try out different things.
Cool.
So it's pretty cool that you can now get it for free. $4.99 a month is the cost they have listed here. So that's great. It includes Battlefield. It includes always FIFA, Madden, NBA, Plants vs. Zombies, Titanfall. It has Dragon Age Inquisition in there. Dragon Age Inquisition is so good. Play that. But my primary use for it was as a sports game vehicle for the nephew. So,
right.
Well, it is definitely good that is coming to Game Pass for the PC as well, because the price of Game Pass for the PC is doubling, and we've known this has been coming. It's always been in beta for the PC, and the price for $4.99 per month is going to $9.99 per month. And when
so not the cost of just Game Pass for PC, not the price of Ultimate.
Correct.
Okay.
So it's just the PC Game Pass. And I was a little nervous about this because there wasn't a ton of selection, in my opinion, on the Xbox PC Game Pass. And now that EA is coming into play, that's gonna help, cushion some of that cost, especially with the expense of EA's Play, whatever they call EA Play. I also wonder real quick if this is EA trying to soften the waters for all the bad things they've been doing for the last 20 years.
I doubt it.
Yeah, okay.
I really doubt they're worried about that at all. I was going to say, though, that another cool thing that was part of being an EA Play subscriber was that you would usually get early access to some of their new games with EA Play. So that was cool. I remember being really excited to check out some things like, I believe, Dragon Age Inquisition a few days early, and Mass Effect Andromeda a few days early. So that's one of the benefits of having that access to EA Play.
Mm-hmm. And also, if anybody's ever been interested in some of the Battlefield games, they're out there. The Dead Space games, Mass Effect, I think they're all on EA Play. I could be wrong.
Mirror's Edge is on EA Play, both of those games.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to try Titanfall, so that might be an incentive to do that now.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. So, Shalene, you're a bit more familiar with this next thing, but there's been an epic battle going on between Apple and Epic. And apparently Apple is now countersuing Epic's sue. It's a whole thing. What can you give us a summary of what's been going on so far?
It is a whole thing, and the TLDR version basically of this story is that Epic decided to come for Apple. Apple charges that 30% on any purchases made on the iOS store, and Epic decided they were tired of paying it, I guess. They went ahead and put this lawsuit. it was this crazy, crazy situation. For a moment, things were just going so fast between them. And Apple responded to Epic's fight by removing Fortnite from the App Store. So they removed Fortnite from the App Store and also removed Unreal development tools from the App Store as well, which is a much greater blow because, of course, as big as Fortnite is, Unreal Engine is what really is Epic's bread and butter and always has been. So it's been a whole thing. And they want to get Fortnite back on the App Store, of course. But Apple has recently filed this countersuit that you mentioned, and they're accusing the developer of commission theft and subterfuge. Apple is describing the hotfix that enabled Fortnite to bypass the App Store's payment system as a Trojan horse. They state that Epic has been working behind the scenes on a campaign against Apple and its store policies, and that they triggered this alternate payment method to fire the first shot. They are looking for a monetary judgment, and they are also looking to get Epic's actions judged as a breach of contract, which really, they're not wrong. It's obvious. It's obvious that Epic meant to do this. They've been planning this for a while. They had their statement prepared. They had their lawsuit prepared. And they even introduced some sort of propaganda, like anti-Apple propaganda videos were introduced into Fortnite itself. It was sort of like a move to weaponize Fortnite players against the Apple.
Sounds like brainwashing.
Yes, it absolutely was. It absolutely was. I don't know if you remember back in the day, there was this 1984 themed commercial that Apple made.
That was that was to sell their first computer.
Yes. Well, Epic made a commercial that references that, and they dropped that in Fortnite. So it was sort of a "you've become the thing you hated" type of statement. But it's really interesting watching them trade blows. I feel like Epic is one of the very few companies that could take on Apple in their 30% cut of sales. So,
but they're calling the kettle black.
Of course.
Like, it's so stupid. Ugh, that's all I have to say about it. But it's just it's annoying. It's like it doesn't affect me. I don't care about either company. Like, what are you doing? You're just wasting time. Capitalism. Ugh.
I get where, but like, don't other apps have like in-app purchases?
Mm-hmm.
So why is Epic's in-app purchases not? Because they basically subverted Apple's 30%.
Yes, they bypassed Apple's 30%. Yes.
Yeah, I can see where they're coming from with the Trojan horse aspect of it.
Mm-hmm. And the thing is that they have made exceptions. Apple, I mean, has made exceptions before to that 30% cut that they're used to taking. They've done some special deals with, I believe, Amazon in the past to bypass that. So it wouldn't be unprecedented for them to bypass it. But I think what Epic is really doing here is trying to bring that down for everyone, which is what I feel like they tried to do with the Epic game launcher, you know, and the lower take in terms of sales there. They were trying to take on Steam in that way. I feel like they're really trying to inject some more competition and some more. I think it's a good thing to do with all that money. I think it's a good thing to do with all that money. So
I'm trying to remember why, like, this happens to me all the time where I don't like something and then I just kind of like make that distinction, and then I kind of forget why I don't like it. But I know I don't like it, and I know there was a reason, but I don't remember what it was.
Are you talking about the Epic launcher?
And I was going to say there's a reason why I don't like Epic.
You didn't like it because there were privacy concerns.
But it was more than that. It was also, I think, I'm trying to look through an article now, but I don't remember what it was. I think that when games are on the Epic Store, they're not allowed to be anywhere else.
There was some exclusivity deals. There were many exclusivity deals. It's not a blanket exclusivity.
I can't remember. But anyway, I just remember it was like a couple things where I was like, Epic, that's you're like, somebody said the theme of this year is have like people and companies having good messages, but then executing them horridly. And I feel like that's just everything. Like Epic's like, we're gonna like cut down the thing, but then they just kind of have all these privacy issues and some like exclusivity weirdness. We're like, you could have done it better. Or like where they're trying to like go against Apple's 30% cut, but this isn't really the way to do it by just doing what they're doing, you know, and hurting their fan base and their players. And so it's like, you could have probably done this a little more diplomatically, but all right, you know, it's done now. But anyway, so that's what's going on there. I don't know how this is going to end.
I really don't either. I find it fascinating to watch, though. And I really think it was, I don't know, I feel like there aren't a lot of people who have the means to go up against Apple. So it's important to remind them that they're not the only company out there.
I feel like they're trying to pull a Guy Fawkes kind of thing, but they're the Monopoly man, so it doesn't really have the same panache.
Yeah, I understand what you mean.
So, the rich dude is getting his servant to fall on the sword? I mean, that's not the best way to do it, but I get it. Anyway, moving forward, we are going to talk about the Ubisoft Forward event that happened a few days ago. Some of us like Ubisoft games like Division. Shalene, I think you like the first Watchdogs?
I've never played any Watchdogs.
Thought one of you did.
I was interested in playing it, but I never pursued.
Okay.
I mean, there are plenty of Ubisoft games we like. Most of us have played at least one or two Assassin's Creed games.
There you go.
Of course, I've had a lifelong obsession with the Trials series.
Splinter Cell.
Splinter Cell. I want Splinter Cell so bad. I'm so disappointed.
Well, that game was in full stealth mode because it was not at Ubisoft's Forward. But here is what was at Ubisoft's Forward. Their big main showcase was the Immortal game. I think it was something like Gods and something. It was named differently.
It used to be called Gods and Monsters.
There it is.
But now it's called
Immortal,
like Phoenix Rising, but Phoenix is spelled weird.
F-E-N-I-X.
With an F and a Y.
I thought it was F-E-N-I-X. Anyway.
That's Marcus Phoenix.
Well, you're this person whose name's Phoenix, and you land on this island, and there's shenanigans about. And it looks okay, a little cartoony for my taste, but I've heard people talking about it, and they're really excited for it. But that was like their biggest push was the Immortals game. It didn't look like anything new. It just didn't look like the big showcase thing. Ubisoft is always known for, well, not every single studio that they own, but they're known for having pretty good graphics. You know, like every time they put out a thing, oh, the graphics. This is just kind of like, looks like Fable 3, like to me. So, I mean, there's been a lot of buzz about it, but that's there. Have you guys checked this Immortal game out at all, either of you two?
Not a bit. Okay. I know virtually nothing about it.
Nope.
Ooh. Swallowed my coffee down the wrong tube. They moved on to talk about, at length, a Prince of Persia remaster, a ground-up remake of the Prince of Persia Sands of Time game. Have you guys played this one at all?
Nope.
No?
Also nope.
Jeez. There was a lot of kind of stir about this where people were like, awesome, new Prince of Persia. It looks like it's from the PlayStation 2.
It's a remake.
When you watch it, it doesn't, but it's a ground up. That's the thing. Like, if you look at Spyro's ground up, it's completely different.
Right.
There's been a few other ground ups where it looks like Mafia. The
Resident Evil 2.
Resident Evil 2. This is like, it doesn't look the best, and one of the things they said was we're trying to retain the original art director's vision. I'm like, a little too much. It's a little too polygony, you know. So if you look, if you're excited for Prince of Persia, granted it was alpha footage, so maybe that's going to change. That would be an interesting step forward for Ubisoft to have the alpha footage look worse than what actually comes out. Usually they do it backwards. They're like, look at this beautiful showcase, and it comes out, and then it looks like it's from the PlayStation 2. But that will be coming out, I think, in 2021. If you're a fan of this particular battle royale called Hyperspace, there's a turbo mode event. I just wanted to put that out there in case any of you guys played that. I personally don't care about it because it looks like if you took Apex and Overwatch and kind of went somewhere in the middle, like all these other battle royales do. Rainbow Six Siege. Let me tell you, their intro video to this was a live action shot of a lot of people playing football and a lot of camaraderie and people celebrating from all different corners of the globe, from Mexico to Brazil to like the United States to Europe. I mean, like it was just all these different places celebrating and like soccer and like camaraderie. And I'm like, and then at the end they're like World Cup 6, and the 6th where the circle is in the 6th there was a gun, and I was like, that's a strange logo to have for a football game, you know, like it's very odd. And they're like Rainbow Six Siege World Cup. I'm like, huh? And apparently it's a huge esport competition they're doing. It's the 6th World Cup for Rainbow Six Siege. But like the branding just seemed like real funky. Like I guess that's their target audience. I was surprised, but anyway, there you go. But they are putting out a huge graphics and performance update for the game, and it's supposed to be in 4K, I believe, by the end of this year. So if you're a Rainbow Six Siege fan, I have respect for you players because I've watched some highlights. Y'all are insane at FPS. You're just insane. For those of you that have played Scott Pilgrim versus the World, I don't know if either of you two have ever played that one, but that was kind of a...
I don't get the appeal of Scott Pilgrim. This franchise, I'm not just talking about the game. The entire franchise just seems ridiculously overhyped to me.
Yep.
The only thing that's cool about it is the Anamanaguchi soundtrack. But they're coming out with the 10th anniversary edition, in case any of you care. Watchdogs Legion. Boy. All right. Do you guys remember when Watch Dogs first came out? And it's like kind of this gritty like world where like the guy gets up behind the car because there's like a whole accident scene. And then like there's that one part where, you know, somebody shoots through the car and the guy opens up the door and there's like a boyfriend or husband like shaking this girl and he's like, come on, you've got to wake up. You've got to wake up. And she's laying there and she's bleeding out. You remember that trailer? For the... Like, man, that was heavy, right? And you could hack everything and read emails and surveillance. I kid you not, the launch trailer for Watchdogs Legion has, like, this announcer who's kind of like this butler, like, you know, everyone could be your ally. And then, you know, this person here, look at their special ability. They can electrocute people with their electro hack. And this lady's special gun is a paintball gun, and shows her, like, awesomely shooting paintballs at people to just, like, disorient them. I'm like, what happened? Like, what happened? You went from this like gritty like surveillance police state to like this like woohoo paintball electroshock, like this weird like comic-esque like they're almost like we know it's a police surveillance state, but let's just have fun and spray paint and shoot paintballs. Like it doesn't make any sense.
No, but the gameplay concept behind Watchdogs Legion, if they pull this off, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be unlike anything else we've ever really seen. Mm-hmm. If you watch some of the lengthier demos for Watchdogs Legion, you'll see that you can recruit anyone in the world. Any NPC in the world can be recruited. And they all have their own personality and story. And I don't know how they're going to pull this off. I don't know if I believe it, but they're saying that it's not, that it really is unique to each NPC. it's not just like that there are 10 types of NPC, and these are the sporty NPCs, and these are the cool NPCs. But they remember if you happen to say rob a store or something, if you do something violent and one of these NPCs is there, they're going to have a more negative outlook on you and your organization, and they'll be more difficult to recruit. Or maybe if your organization helps someone who is their cousin, then this person is more inclined to be easy to recruit, and they will remember, each NPC will remember their interactions with you. They're going to remember their relatives, their loved ones' interactions with you. And it's astonishing. It's just astonishing. And some of these people will have unexpected backgrounds. Maybe you recruit this grandmother, this elderly grandmother, and you're thinking, oh yeah, she's an old lady. What's she going to do? But maybe she was an ex-secret agent. She has these skills in her repertoire. It's such an ambitious project, and I'm not sure I believe it, but I want it to be what they're saying it is.
That sells me on it. Like, that idea sells me on it. The problem is one of the characters, like the special characters that you can recruit, can summon little mechanical bees to attack you with. That's what loses me. The whimsy, the whimsiness of it, like the silly whimsy woohoo have fun thing. Like, I liked I'm a fan of shows like Mr. Robot or different things like that. So when I think of Hacktivist or like V for Vendetta, so when I saw the first Watchdogs and even the second, which still got a little bit more silly, but like that's where my head goes, is like those grittier noir type of things, and this is more like woo, and that's where I get lost in it. So I hope they can pull it off. That does sound highly ambitious. I didn't realize that it was that individualistic to each NPC. I knew that each NPC was recruitable, but I didn't know it was like what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm not sure I believe it. I'm not sure I believe them, but that's what they're saying. So.
All right, so that's coming, and then Riders Republic. They showed a lot of the same opening clip for this over and over and over again, and basically what this is one giant map. They went to the United States and they went to a bunch of different beautiful areas of the United States, like Washington D.C. No, I'm kidding. They went to like the Grand Canyon. I think North Dakota. They went to a bunch of different places, and they stitched this giant biome together that's geographically accurate to these landmarks around the country. And you can choose whatever sort of extreme sport, paragliding or bodysuit flying, whatever that's called. I can't remember. Biking, snowboarding, anything. It's a mass multiplayer playground of extreme sports stuff happening. And that was kind of the gist. They didn't really say it's a battle royale. They didn't really say, oh, there's going to be races you can participate in. It just looks like, from the trailer, it was like ultimate chaos and a lot of smoke, a lot of yellow and pink smoke coming from masks and people that are flying in those little suits. And they were pushing that pretty hard. And that, along with the release of Tony Hawk's Pro Skaters 1 and 2 remake, I'm wondering if there's a little bit more of a push towards, like, interest in extreme sports gaming. If you remember, like, the early 2000s, it was like SSX Tricky, 1080 snowboarding, Tony Hawk. You had the inline skating games. I forget what those are called. You had Skate. There was a couple other skateboarding games that were out. Matt Mira's Pro BMX that introduced me to Sublime. Thank you very much.
I don't know about you, but I'm still waiting for extreme knitting.
So. Have you ever seen that video of the Norwegian death metal knitting contest?
What?
Yes, it's a thing in Norway where there's like heavy metal people like headbanging like crazy and like knitting while heavy metal's playing.
Perfect.
I'll have to send you the video. It's pretty cool. But I was just wondering, like, I don't know if it's happening, but there's like with what was the game that you said, Shalene, that this reminded you of?
Trials. Yeah. Something about it reminded me a little bit of Trials. I feel like the aesthetic is very similar. I don't know.
Maybe there is.
I was a little disappointed in the last Trials game.
You
So
liked
we'll
those.
see. I love the Trials games. I was a little disappointed in the last one. So we will see if I have any interest in Riders Republic. I am completely unsurprised, by the way, just a sidebar, completely unsurprised to learn that Tim Twig in chat has indeed seen the death metal knitting competitions.
Well, he's our resident metalhead.
I am unsurprised.
He's probably a closet knitter.
Closet heavy metal knitter. I lost my train of thought. I kind of would like to see a little bit of that extreme sports come back in the gaming industry, because it's always like the gaming industry that reflects real life. Like when Tony Hawk's Pro Skaters were big, like X Games was huge, like BMX was huge. So like it translated into like people wanting to kind of see the real thing, and maybe that's why. Never mind. So I would really like to see that, because X Games has been dying off, and as a former skater, I loved that world. The music industry that came from it, everything. So it'd be kind of cool to see a little bit of that.
As a former skater,
I used to skate all the time.
This is something I did not know about you.
I used to do a lot of filming for skateboarding, and I used to skateboard all the time. I wasn't very good. Thus me filming. If you can't do, film. But anyway, yeah. So like, I used to get the Trans World magazines, and you know, I recently I was looking for my skateboard because my daughter kept wanting to ride her bike out in the alley, and I'm like, I just don't want to stand out there and like walk with her and like, oh, okay, we'll go this way and we'll go this way. I wanted to like do something, so I was like, where's my skateboard? And I could not find it. So I have no idea where it's at. Anyhow, I kind of hope there is a bit of a return. But the big takeaway that I saw from Ubisoft Forward was that they have 2 new IPs. Like, this is their big 2020 event. They've got 2 new IPs and 1 new game. The rest is just updates and reissues. And I am so ready to be done with this trend. I like remakes, but now they're like getting whole studios devoted to remaking a game that aren't making new IPs or new games in a series. And I appreciate remakes. The Resident Evil ones are cool. 3 was boring, but I'm ready to see some new stuff. And that was the biggest kind of like, like this whole like Rainbow Six Siege. Well, it's an update and a World Cup thing, but nothing really else.
That's the consequences of this new games as service. Games as service that everyone is leaning towards, this new system.
Well, and it's manipulative, right? Because they're just finding another innovative, not inventive, innovative way to squeeze money out of consumers without really providing them with any sort of new product. It's just rewashed and dyed a different color.
And I'm not against games as service, or we'll call it gas. I'm not against gas. I appreciate some good gas every once in a while. It did it again, Vendor. It went across my headphones. I don't mind it. But when that's the sole focus of so that like I was surprised that Call of Duty Warzone was shifting over to a new Call of Duty so soon. I'm like, they're not going to milk this for 20 years like Rainbow Six Siege. So I'm impressed that Call of Duty is like moving on to the next. But it is getting problematic. And I don't know. I hope that I feel fatigue from it. And I hope that starts to kind of trickle out into the game world where people are like, okay, this can be games of service, but I want some new stuff to do as well. But it's going to be hard to juggle that. I mean, I'm just kind of sick of it. Anyhow.
Yeah. I think part of it, too, is they're creating a culture that eventually they're going to realize they don't want. So we're creating a generation of gamers that are going to get used to just playing similar versions of the same thing for a decade or more. And I don't think people are really going to know what to do with new content, entirely new product. But I also feel like people are going to fall into habits of liking and wanting the same of something. And if it's different, they're not going to be interested in trying something new or playing something new.
But I think that's already playing
psychologically.
out.
Yeah, that's right. We're already seeing that happen, right?
I mean, no offense. Look at iPhones. It's the same thing. They just take less from it. No headphone jack, no power supply to charge it.
Well, I think it's the same across any sector, right?
Mm-hmm.
You look at the Xbox. It's just they add an X to it and a few pieces of new hardware. It's the same thing. It's just capable of running more. That's what technology is, but that's different from video games, right?
Yeah.
Because video games, iPhones don't have a storyline.
Well, no,
right?
But they had
right, but video games do, and there is creative endeavors there that they're just getting lazy.
I do agree with that, and I don't think that it has to be that way. I think that you can have a games of service and still be creative with it. It just takes longer and may not be as free. But anyway,
cost benefit is right.
Yeah, but that was my takeaway from Ubisoft. Was like nothing really new. Immortals, that looked new, but anyway. So enough of that. Let's go ahead and get into some game stocks. No audio. Well, anyway. Vendor?
I hear audio.
Oh, do
I
you?
hear it too.
Except it's like really slow.
Yeah, it's all messed up. What a disaster of a show. Yeah.
All right.
It's like that time when Shalene had the deep smoker's voice. Yeah.
They didn't even hear it on the stream, so it doesn't even matter.
Oh, goodness. Okay.
Vendor, stock market.
These prices are as of, I don't know, like an hour ago, maybe.
Closed. They were closed.
Sony closed at $76.50, down 98 cents. Microsoft down 43 cents, closing at $203.60. Nintendo is up $1.10 today at $69.99. Take-Two down 79 cents, closing at $153.53. Activision down $1.12, closing at $77.97. Ubisoft as well is up $1, just like Nintendo, selling and closing at $17.48. EA was down $1, $126.02. They closed at, and Tencent up $1.21, closing at $66.19. So lots of variability across the markets today and this week. I think in general, a lot of uncertainty leading up to November. But also just end of season, new quarters, that kind of thing. So,
yep, rich people's feelings. The stock market.
People's feelings.
I forget where I heard that, but I'm using it from now on. All right. So let's talk about what we're playing. Vendor, take it away.
I have been sorry, I got a little bit distracted there. I've been playing a lot of Microsoft Flight Sim. As you guys know, it launched August 18th. Been flying a lot, streaming it a lot on Twitch, doing flights here and there. As I alluded to earlier, the commercial airliners still a little bit buggy. The autopilot systems haven't worked out those kinks yet. They did push their latest update, which was pretty good. It focused more on tackling the download and installation issues that people were having, particularly with Steam. But my gameplay really consisted of this new Silent Stream Sundays series that I've launched as of 3 weeks ago.
Nice.
Which is basically just take a pit special and fly over a region somewhere with region-specific music. So this past Sunday, I flew over, what was it? It was New Zealand. We flew over the mountain regions in New Zealand, which was amazing. And my playlist of music featured New Zealand artists, classical artists.
That is so cool.
And we listened to some really nice, sort of soothing, relaxing music. We watched the sun go down as we were flying over the New Zealand mountains. It was absolutely divine. The week before that, I traveled through Madagascar, which was really cool in Africa. And so we flew over some really cool terrains amazing. I was expecting to see some elephants. I haven't run into any wildlife in Microsoft Flight Sim yet. Not sure if that's a GPU related issue or if I just haven't seen them. But that was really cool because it had like really cool, like, African music and like relaxing sort of flutes and stuff like that and drums. So it was cool. And then this Sunday coming, I'm going to be flying the Scottish Highlands, which is going to feature hand-selected music of Scottish artists for ambient music and classical music. And so, we'll be flying over the Highlands, which will be absolutely amazing. I know that it's good because I've already flown over it once in Microsoft Flight Simulator, so I'm kind of excited about that. And then this week, the other night, Carlo and I decided that we might be thinking about doing a hiking trip in the mountains next month. And
that'll be fun.
Yes, the Canadian Rockies are one of the most beautiful places in the world, in my opinion. It's absolutely breathtaking. Mountains as far as the eye could see. And I was looking up trails and doing a little bit of research this past week, and then I decided on Tuesday night when I streamed that I would stream a flight in the Canadian Rockies to the trail that I want to hike. And so I seen it from the air, and then we landed up on the glacier in the Columbia ice fields, which is really cool. And it was awesome. I'm so excited to go hiking now. I'm like all pumped. But yeah, still exploring the world, getting used to more of the general aviation aircrafts, a lot of the prop planes and stuff, which are really actually quite fun to fly. I never thought that I would really be interested in that. Did a couple of group flights with some of the fellas in my Flight Sim Discord that I'm part of. They're a cool group of people. And the Silent Sunday streams are actually quite popular. Mobius is chiming in the chat that
that's awesome.
They love it. Yeah, they just put it on before bed and just like fall asleep to it. So the whole idea is born out of this chaotic year that we're all sort of experiencing and living through. And the idea is to really sort of just bring it back and experience the world because we aren't able to. So
that's really good.
That's part of it. Yeah. I've also been playing Among Us. Have you guys heard of Among Us?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot about this. I've seen a lot of memes
Arjun
pop
was
up
talking
on Reddit.
about it the other day.
Among Us is a lot of fun. It is basically a murder mystery sort of puzzle game where you are on either a planet or a facility or a spaceship with a crew of people. And you have you get assigned a certain amount of tasks at the beginning of each match. And your goal is to go around and complete the tasks. Now, at the beginning of the match, everybody is assigned either to be a crewmate or to be an imposter. And the imposter's job is to go around, sabotage systems, and kill crewmates. And when you kill a crewmate, the body is left behind. And the goal is to not get caught, of course. But once you kill everybody, or you defeat through sabotage, you can win the match. And the goal of everybody else who isn't an imposter is to complete their tasks in enough time and fix all of the things that the imposter sabotages and try not to get killed before everybody is dead. So, and then each time a body is found or somebody finds something suspicious about somebody or they suspect that somebody might be the imposter, you call a meeting or you report the body that you find. And it's really interesting because I've played it in two ways. I've played it the traditional way, which is when you find a body or you report it, you go into sort of a chat room in the game itself, and you're literally just typing amongst 10 other people like, oh, I think it was Blue because I saw him in this room and he was next to the person that the body was found and blah, blah, blah. And they're all like, nah, it wasn't me. It was Pink. Like, Pink was over there. It's not me. I don't know what you're talking about. Or I've played it another way where you get 10 people on a Discord call. And what you do is at the start of the match, everybody mutes themselves in Discord. And then when something is reported or an emergency meeting is called, everybody unmutes and you have this 3-minute conversation. and it gets pretty intense and heated. Like it's pretty fun. So yeah, it's a really endearing game. It's like super simple, but it's going to be wildly popular. Yeah,
It sounds great.
yeah.
Nice.
So I recommend you guys pick that up. I think it's free right now. Actually,
Oh, really?
I think you're right. It's on the phone
so
free. I know that.
Get it on Steam if you can. It's pretty cheap and it's only like 300 megabytes to install it. So, yeah, totally recommend that. Also been playing Fall Guys,
Nice.
which is great fun. Yeah, working my way up to some new outfits. But I played it last night for a little bit, and I've noticed that the game is starting to get a little bit hacky. Yeah, I can say with certainty that in each and every round that I played, there was a hacker, which
That's
is
too bad.
pretty common actually. Because like when we played other games, it was really quite rare that we experience hackers. So, but Fall Guys is still pretty good. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I beat the hardest level that I wasn't able to beat, which is this crazy windy thing with these things pushing in and out, and you guys know what I'm talking about. But yeah, that's pretty much my gameplay. It's been a busy week work-wise and research-wise and funding-wise. So
Nice. Well, good.
yeah. What about you, Rick?
Well, I was looking through the Xbox Game Pass and I noticed that Wolfenstein Youngblood was up for grabs for free. And me being a fan of the last two Wolfensteins, I was like, I'll give this one a try because it takes place in the 80s. There's some neon, and I was like, awesome. And the story is that BJ Blazkowicz has gone off to fight Nazis and get some more scalps for his Nazi scalp belt. And he left his twin daughters and his wife behind. So the twin daughters venture off to go find their dad. And it's meant to be played as co-op, two people. One person play one twin and the other person play the other. And you guys work in tandem together to do different things. And because it's the 80s, I had to take the most 80s, like I've adopted the most 80s weapon, which is the Uzi. If you've watched any like 80s action movie, it's the Uzi. You know, and it never runs out of bullets, even though it should. Anyway, I fully upgraded it. Now I'm dual wielding Uzis, and I'm just like in my head thinking of Arnold in like Commando, you know, just like I know I don't think he uses one in that movie, but that's in my head, just like him, like, you know, die Nazi, you know, kind of thing. So it's been fun in that regard, where the gameplay is different. Before, in like the other Wolfensteins, like enemies were tough because like one was like a super soldier and the other one was like just a standard soldier, and they had armor and stuff. In this one, there's actually a leveling system and an armor bar and then a health bar. So you have to get through their armor or break off a piece of armor in order to get their weak spot open, stuff like that. On every soldier for the most part. So that's different. And it changes things because you can't just like one shot somebody in the head anymore to kill them. You have to double tap them sometimes, which in one way is frustrating. In another way, it frees up some of that, like the Damoclean dagger of stealth, where like game's like, we give you the option to do stealth or go loud, but the game's always like, do the stealth or else you fail and you're a loser if you can't sneak. So that's the way the other Wolfensteins made the gameplay feel a little bit. This, there's no real worry. You just go in guns a-blazing and nothing really changes. Also, in the other ones, it's a linear level. In this one, it's not. They're like little open world levels where you go to your underground camp and then you get a list of missions. You go to different areas on the map, little levels, and you do the missions. While you're also there, sometimes a random event will pop up that your handler will say, hey, there's some people you need to rescue. And that's pretty cool because you're like, all right, well, you know, either I'll complete my mission now or I'll switch off and go rescue the civilians or install the phone tap or something. Because it's meant to be a co-op game, it's not as smooth as the other Wolfensteins.
Right.
There was this beautiful thing that would happen when you will dual wield rotating barrel shotguns in Wolfenstein. You would watch body parts fly. The white hoods of KKK members float away because their heads have been turned into paste. It was a beautiful thing. And in this one, it's not as explodey, gory body parts. It's a little bit more tamed down, I think, because of some of the other stuff. And like that's kind of here, not here nor there, but that's something I did notice. Your AI partner, when she's controlled by the computer, is fairly useless unless you're downed. She is right there, killing everybody and resin you, and then she goes back to running into a wall. I'm like, why can't you be awesome when I'm? Eh.
Well, I mean, that's when you need her the most. To be fair,
it is. So. The story's okay, but again, all those different side missions make it feel a little disjointed. Like, you're looking for your father, but, like, you know, any game where they have to add side missions, they're like, let's, like, not look for Dad who could be dead, and go, like, traipsing off to do something else.
A game where you go on endless side quests instead of finding your dad the way you're supposed to. I feel like I've played this game before.
But and the side missions feel a little disjointed, where like you're like, go to this area now, go over to this area, and then go to this area, and then go over here again. And it's like, it doesn't really, the lore isn't, I don't know. I just didn't feel like a lot of it. It was very like, go to point A and you shoot your way to point A, and then you do the thing you need to do. Then go to point B, but you really don't know why. There's no gravity to what you're doing. But that being said, it's free and it is fun. It's not as good as the other two, but it's, come on, you're killing Nazis and it's Wolfenstein. How can you not enjoy your time, right? The other thing that I've been playing a little bit as I reinstalled Call of Duty, Modern Warfare. My brother-in-law has been playing it. Another friend of mine has been playing it, and they're like, I want you to play with me. I was like, all right. So I set the download up overnight, and it finished. And of course, even after I download it and open a game up, it's like, installing shaders for another 25 minutes. And when I finally was able to play Warzone with my brother-in-law, we didn't do too bad. They changed a couple things in the map since I last played it. One map, we were like, where are we going to go? And he's like, well, you pick where we parachute in. So I was like, military base, because that's going to be terrible.
Right.
And we parachuted in the military base, and we must have killed like 6 people. Like, we joined it, and like, we killed the couple people. Whoo! Like, we got them, you know. Then we saw more, we killed them, and we were feeling pretty good. We eventually did get offed in the military base. I think I forget what happened, but that was fun. There's now a train that actively runs through the town, so we're like, let's parachute onto the train. So we jump out, and we're, going down to the train, and as we're landing on it, so do 50 other people. And so it's just this bloodbath on this moving
on the
train.
That's awesome.
And I nailed it, right? So I got on there. I'm fighting this one guy. We both jump off, and we both promptly die. And I'm like, what the heck happened? Like, it was a bloodbath. But like, what happened? Well, there was a dude inside of the train car with an AK, like, shooting people as they came off the side of the train. He was like, dropped him, dropped him, dropped him. And I'm like, bravo. But
Can you get hit by the train?
I would imagine so, but I was not in front of it. I was surprised that I actually got on the train on my first attempt. Because when you're parachuting in, you can cut away the parachute and redeploy it, and then cut away and redeploy it. So you can kind of like, do cool stuff and control where you're going to land a lot better than, say, PUBG. It's definitely a fun game. It's hackers there too, and then there's just people who are really good at it, and it's easy to rage quit on Modern Warfare, but it is fun to play every once in a while to kind of just be a part of that little group. But that was kind of all I played. What have you been up to, Shalene?
Well, that's not all you played, because you played Left 4 Dead 2 with me and Archon.
That's true.
Yes, we've been having a lot of fun doing Left 4 Dead 2 missions as survival horror Sunday streams.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been so fun. The last one that we did was a repeat of the Carnival.
Dark Carnival,
and yeah, the Dark Carnival. And this time we all got out alive. So that was great.
You didn't leave me behind.
Did not leave Rick behind. The
Guys,
first
I'm
time.
over here, and then the helicopter.
Yes. We rode off into the sunset without Rick. It was terrible.
But the second time around.
But the second time we all got out alive. It went so much better than the first time. I feel like we're getting a little better at the game, and maybe not, but I feel like we're getting better at the game.
We are. Do we want to share, Vendor? Let me take a little jog back through memory lane when we first started playing Sea of Thieves. And Shalene's like, you guys are such good shots. And remember, it was like few weeks of playing, and she's like, wait, you can aim? She had no idea you could aim. She's been shooting from the hip this whole time. Well, we had that kind of moment again with Left 4 Dead. Not really that obvious, but me and Archer were talking about the director, and she's like, "What's the director?" And I was like, "Oh, well, Left 4 Dead has an AI director that constantly monitors what you do, and depending on if you're hanging around, if you're doing really good, it will change the game, change the location of walls, and mess with you." And Shalene, you had no idea that this was a thing.
No idea.
So Arjun's like, "Go, come on, let's run." And she's like, "I want to explore. I want to look."
Yeah, I wanted to look around. I wanted to see the environment.
And both me and Arjun are like, come on, we gotta go. Because we knew if we would stand around, we'd hear, roar, and like, you know?
Yes, I was constantly getting us swarmed by hordes.
To come back.
No.
And
I think...
I would be like kind of by myself, and I would think, well, we already cleared this area, I'm going to look around here. And because, that's the way I like to play games. I like to explore all the nooks and crannies, and I like to see just even small things like, oh, look at this wall and this table, and I want to see the furniture and
then zombie eating your face off.
Yeah.
I think
then I would be overwhelmed with all these zombies everywhere, and the guys would have to come back and get me, and it was terrible.
But once we were on the same page with what's going on, like the last 2 rounds have been very smooth, with like
lots better.
Yeah.
I try to keep up. So.
All right.
It's been fun.
It also helps that ammo was on this stage with us. Because like the first time we played it, we had to run across the floor and go up in the bleachers and get the ammo, then come back. So.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I literally have no comment. I don't even know. I don't know how to respond to that.
It's really fun though. We've been having a great time. I also picked up Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Of course, I have had my years-long now quest to finish all of the Assassin's Creed games instead of just playing the first few hours and quitting. And I realized as I was playing Black Flag, I needed to relax. And I thought, I don't think I even feel like doing missions. I just want to explore this environment. I want to walk in these crowds and enjoy this beautiful city and climb tall things. And I realized that that's what I love the most about the Assassin's Creed games is being immersed in the world and climbing tall things. And I also realized that I'm not crazy about this invested in the story since the end of the Ezio games and since Desmond was no longer a part of the story, the modern day storyline. So I don't care as much about the storyline. So I need to stop focusing as much on just worrying about the missions and just enjoy those worlds. Focus on enjoying the worlds and relaxing. And I really love something that I've missed in the more modern Assassin's Creed games is having the platforming be a bit of a puzzle, climbing up to some of these viewpoint areas, it's a little bit of a puzzle, and you have to be careful or you're not going to get there. You have to make the right choices. You don't just climb up the side easily. I like it better when it's a bit of a challenge, when there's a bit of a puzzle aspect to climbing. So still enjoying Assassin's Creed Black Flag. Of course, Animal Crossing New Horizons is still a huge part of my life, of course. I actually went and looked up a list and made myself a checklist of all of the bugs and fish and sea creatures that are leaving at the end of September so that I wouldn't miss anything. So Mom and I have this checklist now, and we sit down together and play Animal Crossing, and we'll be like, okay, I caught this kind of butterfly. Is that on the list? Like, no, that one's not on the list. But oh, look, I caught this cicada. This one's on the list. Check it off. So we've been working on our collections that way, and there's been a bit of a fall update for Assassin's Creed. There are now acorns and pine cones that can fall out of the trees, and you can use those as crafting materials, which is lovely. And gosh, I love Animal Crossing. It's so wholesome. I really want to start paying more attention to my decorating. I think I'm going to redecorate my main room as a seasonal area. So I want to decorate it for fall and maybe Halloween. And then later on, decorate it for Christmas. And instead of having just this nice, living room, I want to have it seasonal. I think that would be really fun. And yeah, we've been having a great time with Animal Crossing. I continue to love that game. And of course, most of my gaming time has still been going into Fallout 76. I've been doing a little bit of the Wastelanders storyline. I'm still taking that super slowly, just doing that. I did take a bit of a break from video games kind of in general this week. So that was nice. I've been doing a lot of reading, watching some X-Files. It's been good.
Nice. So, what episode are you on?
I am on, let's see, the last one that I watched was the one where Scully had a baby.
Really?
I thought that was... I didn't remember this from my original watch of the X-Files. I did not remember this episode. It was like a 2-part episode, and I felt like it was super lame. I just...
The second half of the series is... Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. There's not a maternal bone in that woman's body. And
oh God, no.
Yeah, it was to me, it was a little gross that they kind of shoehorned that in. So I'm never a fan of like mystical child storylines in anything ever. I don't like it. So
okay.
Yeah, that's that.
Cool. I finished the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air show.
Nice.
All of them. So there's that.
That is so unexpected.
It's a great show.
It's such a good show.
Anyway, I feel like
I love how Rick's like, nah, Game of Thrones, terrible. I just finished Prince of Bel-Air. Yeah.
It's a great show. Game of Thrones is all right. It's good. I watched all of them.
Oh,
I was not as perturbed at the ending as everyone else was. I couldn't see another alternative to end it the way other
Season
than what
8
they
came
did.
out and the whole world broke. Like it was just...
I was like,
it was
but
such
like,
a disaster.
Like nobody else would have been a choice for the throne. So anyway, but anyway, I feel like I had to add something because I've never watched a single episode of X-Files. So
yeah, I think that's pretty sad.
It was what, 98?
I have no idea.
When X-Files started was like 90, 92, 93.
Oh, okay. See, I wasn't watching that one. I mean, and even when I was older.
It ended around 1998, I thought.
Okay. See,
and then they did they picked it up again in 2016 with Scully and Mulder, and the world went crazy, like because everybody was like, yes, and then it kind of dwindled off.
I heard it wasn't good.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it yet.
Me neither, but it's on Crave, and I want to watch it.
Yeah, that's actually why I originally started watching the X-Files again, but it always takes me like 6 years to get through a series. Well, I don't watch much TV.
That's what I love about the shows from the 90s is that the episodes are so long.
Mm-hmm.
And the storylines are so diverse. I mean, I guess the shows today are still kind of the same, but
yeah. I don't know. I prefer the X-Files when it's like Creature of the Week episodes. And I don't like the ones that are like the lore of the X-Files. I don't like those as much. I'm not as interested in the through storyline of the X-Files as I am in those Creature of the Week episodes.
That's Movie Stack or Show Stack.
Show Stack. Yeah.
All right. Well, everyone, that is our show. Some announcements that we have is next Friday coming up on Sunday. Our Vendor, your silent stream. What time do you usually do those?
9 p.m. Mountain Standard Time.
At twitch.tv/Vendortron?
Correct.
Awesome. So check out that there at that time, 9 p.m. Mountain.
Mm-hmm.
And also, Survival Horror Sunday will be, we could do a midday one this Sunday.
You know what? We're probably not going to be able to do it this week. Maybe later, if we can do it later on Sunday.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. I'm free all day Sunday.
Yeah.
So we'll stay tuned for that announcement if we're going to do Survival Horror Sunday or not. And also, next Friday, here at twitch.tv/WeJustLoveGames at 6:30 Mountain, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have that Fallout show, a whole new episode. And boy, it's the first time I can think of where a major content drop is happening the same week of the show. So, woohoo for us. Stay tuned for all of that information because we're going to have a lot to talk about. And that is all next week. You can email
Something
us.
that I find really funny, I'm sorry to throw you off in the middle of, but we're always like, yes, with a brand new episode of that Fallout show. And I'm guilty of that too. I always say that. Like what? Like we're going to bring a rerun? Like we're just, some week we're just going to show a rerun?
Yeah, we could do that.
I'm not opposed to that.
We could do a blooper reel. We could do a blooper reel, like a filler episode, or like what they call it. I think it's a closet episode or episode box where like we're all like trapped somewhere and we have to like go back and look at past episodes because we don't have anything new. There's a lot of stuff we could do to actually I feel like that would take more work than actually just doing a show.
It absolutely would.
The best part about this is we just spent like an hour talking about how it's so terrible that game developers are just taking old games and remaking them. And we're like, reruns are not a bad idea.
We should remake episode 1 of our shows. Anyway,
just think it's really funny that we're all like,
do that. We should take the old show notes and try to recreate the same episode and then watch it.
I love it. That would be fun to use old show notes.
And then just see how our reactions are. See if they're different from 4 years ago.
I love it. That is so fun.
That would be cool. Because we've changed, right? As people, we've
changed.
Yes.
So. Oh, yeah. That is too fun.
Oh, yeah. We have definitely changed. But, well, stay tuned for more episodes to see if we actually do anything of that sort. Here at twitch.tv/WeJustLoveGames. If you want to email us some ideas for show subjects or just talk about the games you're playing or just chat, you can email us at info@WeJustLoveGames.com. You can find the show / the network on Twitter at WeJustLoveGames. You can find Shalene on Twitter at ShaleneL and Vendertron at VendertronN. On Facebook, we are facebook.com/WeJustLoveGames and also .com/groups/WeJustLoveGames. You can join us on our Discord by sending us a message or going right down below. There's a link there permanently that you can hop in the Discord there, or just send us a message or an email and we'll let you in that way as well. We record live every other Friday for Gamestack at 6:30 Mountain, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here at twitch.tv/WeJustLoveGames. And please subscribe to us on YouTube, iTunes, or Stitcher Radio, wherever your podcast aggregates are. And give us a review. If you leave us a 5-star review with some text, we will shout you out at the beginning of each show. Thank you so much for listening. And Shalene, do you have a last word? Those
no.
glances say that you don't.
I always forget that that's a thing that we do. Goodbye. Love you. I'm sorry, I've got nothing. Like,
I also realized this is going to be a cold out because the exit video is not going to play any audio. So, yeah.
Okay. How does our outro song go? End it!